Hi, I'm Scott Eisner. I've been in the industry now for 31 years. I currently work for Traffic Jams Motorsports. I started this industry in 1992. I've been here about 5 months. The biggest challenge this year has been moving to Traffic Jams, which is one of the 25 or top 50 retailers in the US, from a job that I had for 15 years. To further my career in the high-end side of car audio and push myself even harder to learn the new products that are coming out, setting new precedent for car audio.
Are you ready? Is you ready? You say you ready? Whole squad ready? Is you ready? Are you ready? Is you ready?
Well, I believe I'm professionally fun. I like to keep a fun environment and remember we're all here to have fun. I definitely push myself to make sure everybody feels relaxed and not so uptight. This is a very stressful job, but it can be fun if you just take 2 seconds to really enjoy it. Well, I really do enjoy doing security work, remote starts, keyless entries, anything that pushes me hard in wiring. Being able to manipulate the template given with the audio that has to be installed. Being able to use the proper materials that are durable, where the equipment can be mounted securely, safely, and serviceable is very important. Unneeded or extra holes are one of my big pet peeves. If there's any way to install a product correctly using factory screw holes or factory bolts or built-in brackets, that is the best way to do it versus drilling unwanted holes. I never believe in cutting corners. I always want to do it right the first time, because I know somewhere somebody's going to take it apart for service somewhere, and I want them to see that it was done correctly, that I went above and beyond. And honestly, after the whole job is done, getting a smile out of a customer, that's like the icing on the cake for me. I do believe customers will remember after I've touched their vehicle that they got their car back clean. Nothing seen, looks like I haven't even been in the vehicle. Till we sit down, we go over every detail of everything I've done. I don't want them leaving with any questions. I want them leaving with laughter. I want them leaving thinking it was a fun experience. The next time I see them, I want them to remember me of how fun I made the experience for them, and how attention to detail, that I didn't leave anything out, because I really don't want my customers getting all this work done and leaving and not being able to use it correctly. You've got to make sure you take that extra step, extra time to explain everything. Don't leave anything out. For me, back in the 90s when I first got into this, car audio was blowing up. It was everywhere. Car audio magazine was such a huge influence. It was also the competitors at the time. You had the greats like Mark Bakuda, Richard Clark, Wayne Harris, Harry Kimera, David Fishman. Let's see, you had industry great installers at the time as well, like Chris Anderson, Michael Bischoff, Anthony Colgate, Matt Turner, Gary Stackpole, Cliff Battle, Doug Potter, and you can't forget the reps that were right there, because in the early 90s they were everywhere. Everywhere you went there was reps. You had Bob Alicia, Cecil Sweet, Mark Barber, Chuck Cooley, John Ledford, Jerry Aubrey, and these people always showed you that car audio was only held back by your imagination. So they were always sitting on the outside of a box looking in, and they were always trying to find ways to push the envelope and try something that nobody's ever done. And I still look back to that and carry that with me daily. Well, I've seen the industry grow in the past 31 years when I got into this in 92. Every year new tech comes out, and new products arrive. I've been able to adapt over the years and just stay on top of what the newest and best things out. I've been able to hone the skills over the years, knowledge about the automobiles as well as the gear. I'm really a car guy when it comes down to it. I get just excited about the cars. I do the car stereo. I've always been a car guy, and I always will be. Sometimes it's the installers that do the day-to-day jobs that kind of get overlooked, I guess you'd say. Don't get me wrong, I've had plenty of cars that have sat in my bay for, a couple of weeks here and there that have gone off the car shows. But there's so much more to it. I pride myself in my work, knowing that someone somewhere will take it apart, check out my work. I just want to make sure it's perfect, efficient, and as OEM as possible. That seems to be the best explanation. And I want to make sure my customers all have a wonderful experience. I don't want anybody to feel like this wasn't really fun for them, because I have fun every day when I come to work. So I try to share that with everybody else. Well, this is my workstation, and as we all know, things have moved completely digital. So a lot of tools aren't just hand tools anymore. Got to have the computer to look up everything, to program everything, all the cables I need for programming everything, printer so I can print everything out that I need, important documents. Got a laptop I can take to program with. A lot of CompuStar stuff is complicated. You have to have a laptop, you have to have an iPad, you have to have a Android, you have to have a mobile cart so you can pull up and get all your proper devices to make sure your settings are correct on all your amplifiers, all your tuners. This is basically something that you just whip over the car and knock out your work. I'm a big believer in hand tools more than power tools or drills. I do have several drills, but more hand tools. I believe of taking apart more higher end cars or even low end cars. Over torquing, things like that, or scratching interiors is just bad. So I'm a real believer in the old screwdrivers versus the power drills. Multiple pliers for everything, every socket, extension, even crazy little things that are just hard to manipulate. Like everybody has to have one of these little guys because some screws are just so tight to get out of cars. But definitely keeping your workstation clean, everything organized, easy to find, makes it really easy to get in and out of your workstation and into cars and get everything done smoothly. But without all of this, there's no way audio can be done nowadays. Just too far into the electronic world.